got the Lakeside Rumble 2. And I've got Melissa Astle from the DOVES organization, which is Domestic Violence Education and Services, right? And Jerry from the Valencia Boxing Camp up here in Lake Arrowhead. And I have some questions for you guys.
Okay.
All right. Tell me a little bit about the boxing championship that you're having. It's an amateur boxing championship, and it's on Sunday at Lake Arrowhead Village, May 3rd. Center stage, 1 o'clock. And what ages are generally the boxers that you have?
They could be anywhere between 8 years old all the way to seniors even. But we're going to have them anywhere between possibly 10 to 25, 30 years old. And they'll be doing 3 rounds, 2-minute rounds, and it's all sanctioned by the USA Olympic Boxing Commission. And we also have, you know, the officiating, IEB officials. These are world-renowned professionals.
And tell me a little bit about an amateur boxing event like this as opposed to a professional boxing event.
Yeah, the difference is they wear headgear. It's all approved by USA Boxing, and we don't allow any kind of knockouts. It's all standing eights. If you take a hard punch, it's a standing 8 count, which goes to the benefit of the one that did the punch. And they get a round, they win a round.
So it's like a point system.
Right, it's a point system, and then this way they just keep going. But like I said, they do 3 rounds, and that's how it goes, you know. It's just a matter of hopefully our fighters will win them all. And we are going to have belts, championship belts. This is the first time, I think, in the history of Lake Arrowhead that we actually have a youth program up here that's sanctioned by the U.S. Olympic Committee. And we're very proud about this because we have kids from our areas. And hopefully, you know, they'll continue, not necessarily into boxing, but to progress them into school and make sure that they're doing well in school. Because if they have bad grades, I do not allow them into my gym.
Wow. Okay. Melissa, why is Domestic Violence Education and Services sponsoring this event with Valencia Boxing?
You know, DOVES really feels that it's important to communicate that violence is unacceptable at any age, whether it's at a 10-year-old teen dating violence programs, whatever, or violence at any other point. However, boxing is a sport, and it's within the ring. And so we really felt this is a great opportunity to communicate with a predominantly male sport that more young women are getting into. However, it's predominantly male observation type sport. So we really felt it was important to advertise and communicate effectively.
It's a good venue for you, a good event for you to get your word out.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What else does DOVES do?
We actually have a 17-bed shelter which takes mothers and their children. We have 2 outreach programs. Everything is funded and supported through grants, federal, state, about 75%, and we do fundraisers. However, we communicate with teen dating violence programs, bullying prevention, and when in the adult venue, we make sure and outreach and try to teach self-esteem, how to make better choices, and we do a lot of legal services.
Great.
A lot of legal services.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. Maybe both of you can tell me why you feel that this event is actually a family event, as opposed to just an adult event. It's ticketed. You have to come. You have to buy a ticket to the event, and obviously it's a youth boxing. You're going to have youth boxing. So some people have wondered why we would do boxing in the village. And I've tried to explain that this absolutely is a family event to come to. If you're a boxing fan, understandably, some people just don't like boxing and for whatever reason. But your boxers and the families of those boxers are very proud to be in this sport. And why do you think it's appropriate for a family event?
Well, number one is that USA Boxing is worldwide. This is the first time in Lake Arrowhead that they're actually having an Olympic boxing team and our own local boxing gym, our local fighters that are competing here. And this is the first time. It's very exciting to do something like this. And 3 years ago, it was like really difficult to get my foot in, and because nobody understood it. What's good about this, it brings families together. I've never seen any kind of violence involved, concerned about families, you know, getting involved or anything like this. With the officials, everything's very well controlled. Parents are very well controlled. The fighters are very well controlled, and there's a lot of respect involved. Even though they're competing next to each other, you know, to beat the other one in a competition boxing amateur show, they also, whoever wins, they go to the other and show respect to the corners, their coaches, and they go back and they bow to the families. I mean, everybody in the stand.
Wow.
So it's very exciting. Now, this is going to be a big thing here, and I think hopefully in the future it'll continue.
That's awesome. Tell me a little bit about the competitions and the bouts. Tim, you were telling me earlier off camera about having to have so many bouts in order to get into the Olympic trials or something like that.
Right.
Can you summarize that?
Yeah, throughout the state, actually throughout the world, you know, they're all competing to get eventually in the future to get to the Olympics. Right now, we're in the process of eventually going into the Junior Olympics. We have the PAL Golden Gloves. PAL actually is by the police department. They handle that. And Golden Gloves and Nationals. Now, if we can go to Nationals, then we can go to the Pan Ams. And then from the Pan Ams, we can go to the Olympic trials. And that's what's really one of the big goals we have. And it costs money to do this. And we have to raise money to do this. And 2 years ago, when we took Danny, one of our fighters, to the World Amateur, he only had like 5, 6 fights. And they had it at the Fantasy Springs Casino, and they had fighters from all over the world. And our fighter from Lake Arrowhead came in 2nd place.
Wow.
Cool.
And the poor kid, we drove from Lake Arrowhead to Indio for 5 days of elimination, going back and forth. And he slept in the car. He slept in the lobby because we could not afford to rent a room. And this is why we're doing this now. This is why we're trying to build to this, so that they can stay there. A lot of the kids, they had funds, they had nonprofit, they had everything there, and they paid for the hotel room so they could stay there and rest. And our guys were like, we drove back and forth.
Wow.
So I'm hoping this year that we'll be able to have enough funds to be able to do that.
Tell me, who's your star this year? Who do you have high hopes for?
Danny German, Isaac Andrade, John McLaughlin, he's another one, and right now those are the main ones, but then we also have Mario Garcia, and then Cynthia Cummings. She's a female heavyweight. Actually, she's considered a heavyweight because anything over 200 pounds, but she's already down to under 200 pounds, so she will no longer be a heavyweight. And she's 47 years old.
Wow.
So she wants to compete, so I'm looking at putting her maybe in the World Amateur Boxing.
Wow.
So there's a lot of possibilities. And we just wound up getting a female boxing team together. They're not competing yet, they're not ready, but we have 5 girls and they're called the Rascals. They wanted to be called the Rascals. So that's another team that I'm trying to build up as far as the females are concerned.
That's great. All right. Well, you can get tickets to the May 3rd Lakeside Rumble 2 online. Pre-order tickets for $16. You save money that way at lakesiderumble2.eventbrite.com. At the gate, it's $20. You can come the day of, and it's at Center Stage here in Lake Arrowhead Village. And if you have any questions, can they call you?
Yes, it can.
What's your phone number?
909-202-3357.
All right. Thanks a lot. See you
Keep
there.
punching.
Thank you.